Hi, hi everyone. Thank you for joining. Going to wait a couple of minutes just to see who else is going to come on board. Yeah, glad to see some of you already logged on. My name's Charlotte, Charlotte Bryan. I work for EF as a international teacher recruiter. So if you can let me know if you can hear me, let me know where you're logging in from. You can do that via the Q&A section. So if you find that button, click on there, and yeah, let me know where you're logging in from. And we'll wait another couple of minutes. This is the first time we've done a live here at EF, so it's all new to us. Hopefully we don't have any issues, and hopefully I can successfully let you know some hints and tips on optimizing your LinkedIn. So yeah, does anyone want to let me know where they're logging in from and whether or not you can hear me? Just wait for a couple more minutes. Can you hear me? Hopefully everyone can find the Q&A section on there. You can at the end there'll be a chance to answer any questions. Sorry, for me to answer any questions. So we've got some coming through from Ontario, China, California. Great. Bali. Oh, hi. Nice. Manchester. Cool. Great. Okay. So Switzerland. Nice. Okay. So let's jump in now. It might take a couple of minutes for my screen to share, but let's get going, and I'm sure there'll be some more people logging on as we go, but that is fine. Cool. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen. So yeah, again, thank you all for joining. I know that there's quite a few different time zones, so I'll say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's evening time here in China. It's just past 9:30. So well into the evening here. So yeah, hopefully you know because you've signed up for this webinar, but we're going to be going over how you can use LinkedIn to optimize your international job search. So again, my name's Charlotte Bryan, and I work for EF, specifically for English First. So let's have a quick look at what we're going to be talking about today. So firstly, we're going to go through how you can create a profile that's going to outline your objectives. So create a profile that really shows people what you're looking for, who you are, what you've done, and what your strengths are. Then from there, so you've got a great profile, what do you do next? So I'm going to show you how you can start to kind of grow your global connections, start connecting with targeted people, and really kind of grow your reach on LinkedIn. After that, so you've got a great profile, you've got some great connections, what do we do next? So it's about how you can leverage LinkedIn, how you can make LinkedIn work for you. Also, we're going to have a quick look at how you can find the right companies. Then I'm going to show you a real life example. So from there, I'm going to show you how I have made LinkedIn work for me, how I have managed to kind of have quite a successful career by using LinkedIn. A quick overview of EF, the company that I'm working for, and then lastly, there'll be a section for you to ask me some questions via the Q&A section. Just to let you know, I can't see the Q&A section right now, so if you do have any questions, unfortunately, I won't be able to see them until the end, but then feel free to ask away. Cool. So firstly, before we start, a little bit of an introduction to me. So my name's Charlotte Bryan. I work for EF. So EF is Education First, it's a big umbrella, and I specifically work for English First. I've worked in recruitment for 7 years. So initially I started out working agency side, so working for a recruitment agency, and then more kind of recently worked internally in-house, helping companies solve their recruitment issues, build their teams, and everything around that. I have international work experience, so I started my career in the UK, in Reading, Wolverhampton. Then I moved to Amsterdam, Germany, and now I am here over the pond in China, specifically in Shanghai. And I like to call myself a LinkedIn fanatic, because LinkedIn has really been so crucial with my career right from the beginning in so many different ways. And a friend asked me the other day to help her find a remote position in a different country. And my first question was, do you have LinkedIn? Because to me, it's the very first thing you should be doing to kind of help find your international job role. Cool. So that's a quick summary of me. So that jumps straight into looking at your LinkedIn profile. So you want to make sure you're creating a profile that outlines your objectives, shows exactly what you're looking for, what you've done, what your skills are, to kind of really help you reach those international companies that you're looking for. So whether we like it or not, the first thing people look at is your profile picture. So you want it to be professional, you want it to be an accurate representation of you in a professional manner. So a picture with your cat, or a picture with your friends is great for Facebook and Instagram, but not so much LinkedIn. And then you can see here on the cover photo, so or background photo, whatever you want to call it. So you can see mine here is EF branded. It's actually a picture of the Bund in Shanghai. So aesthetically, it's nice to look at, but also it's on brand, it's professional, it's interesting. Next. So you want to be adding your work experience in there. And a lot of these things now that I'm quickly saying now, I'm going to show you examples of shortly. But yeah, keep adding to your work experience so people know what you've been doing. Next, if you go down one, you can see my headline. So my headline is International Teacher Recruiter at EF Shanghai. So straight away, someone can go on my profile and see this is what she does, this is where she's working, this is where they are. So that's great to kind of make people know if you're looking for a new position, where you're looking for a new position, a quick screenshot. Next, you want to be using plenty of keywords. So all across, again, I'll show you in a second where it's good to use them, but recruiters use LinkedIn with search keywords. So they'll search on certain keywords. So if they aren't cropping up in your profile, you're not going to come up in a recruiter search. And you really want to be, to get that international job abroad, you really want to be kind of staying in the mind of recruiters. Next, of course, you want to arrange your information in order of importance. So you don't want a list of skills, and actually that number one skill that you want to sell is right at the bottom. Of course, you want it right at the top, shining for everyone to see. Next, write an engaging summary. So this is the next bit. This is the about bit. So again, I'm going to show you a couple of ways to do that next. But yeah, you just want it to be engaging and to someone to get a really good feel for you. Next, you want to have at least 3 to 4 recommendations. So that's make sure you're giving them and you're receiving them. Let recruiters know you're actively job searching, of course, so they can contact you and you can get recommended job adverts from LinkedIn. State whether you're eligible to work in another country. So that's obviously key for looking for an international job, because if you are eligible to work in a certain country, obviously it can be helpful, especially for visa processes. And lastly, mention on your profile if you've worked internationally and where. Of course, you don't need it always. So for example, if you wanted to become a teacher at EF, you don't necessarily need any international experience, but if you do, of course, it is interesting to us. Most importantly, keep updating. So LinkedIn has over 225 million members. Executives from all Fortune 500 companies are on LinkedIn. So you want people to be seeing you. Right now, someone, probably my colleagues, are searching for people on LinkedIn who are looking for an international job abroad. If you don't have the right skill set on there, you're not going to come up in those searches if you haven't got your keywords, and you're possibly going to miss out on a opportunity. Cool, so let's see some examples. So first Firstly, work experience. Here you can see that LinkedIn can be like your professional resume, and it actually makes things a lot easier when you actually go to update your resume, because it's all there. So you want to be putting keywords. As you can see here, I've got education, ESL, teachers. Over here you can see all the list of keywords there. So there they will come up in people's searches, and keep adding to it. Every time you've got a new job, add it on straight away. You first day at work, get that job on there. That's what I do. I think I even put it on before on the plane over to Shanghai when I did my EF1. Cool. Next, so this is 2 different ways of doing a headline. So the first one is very similar to mine. Talent manager at Beasley. Straight away, we know the job, we know where they're working. The next one is a little bit more, there's a few more words there. So, but it's just a different way of doing it. And it is great because you can see they are looking for a new opportunity. They previously worked in customer service and facilitation. So straight away, you've got keywords and we know that they're looking. So I would really recommend I assume because you've come onto this webinar that you are looking for a international job abroad. If it's possible, I know obviously it can be awkward if you're in a position, but if it's possible, then upload your headline with that. Cool. Next, open to work. So if you go onto your LinkedIn profile and scroll down, underneath where it says dashboards, you will be able to see this section here. So you can toggle on to let recruiters know you're open. And then if you see underneath that, there is a bit where you can choose the types of opportunities, and it opens this next part. And on there, you can put what you're searching for, what job titles that you would consider, where in the world you want to work, and you can put things like what kind of hours you want to do, and that really just helps recruiters to focus on what you're looking for, and also helps you to get focused job adverts sent through from LinkedIn. Next, summary. So this is 2 quite different ways of doing it, but any way is fine. The main thing you want to be making sure is you're putting attention-grabbing information. So you want it to be interesting. You want it to show your expertise. You want to put any key accomplishments and experience. Think of it like a chance to show off a little bit. And any roles that you've done outside of work, like any voluntary positions or kind of part of societies maybe, that might be useful in the job that you're looking for. For instance, if you are interviewing as a international teacher, it might be interesting to see maybe like Duke of Edinburgh or something like that, just something that you kind of got involved in. So recommendations. So here's 2 here. The top one is one that I received, and the bottom one is one that I gave. So it's good to get them, and at first it seems a bit strange to be asking people to recommend you, but the more you get used to LinkedIn, the more you do it, the more you'll understand that it's just people are happy to do it for you, especially if they receive one back. Also, I would recommend not to, it can be quite easy to just ask people to give them a friends or colleagues that you've not really worked with, and okay, that might be a LinkedIn on your page, sorry, that might be a recommendation on your page, but it's not really authentic, and it kind of doesn't really like show much. So I would recommend getting like real recommendations. Next, so okay, we have focused on the profile. What do we do now? So we want to create global connections. So you want to be connecting with people and growing your network. So you want to be targeting your connections though. So start to think to yourself, who might be interested in connecting with you, and who are you interested in connecting with, and start to kind of really think about it. Of course, connect with recruiters in your relevant field, and stay in those people's minds, follow leaders in your industry, and at your target company. Target yourself on kind of 50 and keep adding. So you want to be aiming for 500, and kind of, I would say personally, do around 3 to 5 a day. You need to be careful. If you go on there and just spam everyone and add lots of people, then actually you can get blocked for a short while, and you have to send an apology message to LinkedIn. I've had experience of that before. But yeah, so just be careful how you do it. Also, it's really nice to put a little message in there. So for instance, if someone was to add me and they just put like a couple of line message like, "Hi Charlotte, saw you recruit English teachers, it'd be great to connect." Just that just makes it a little bit more human and makes me think, oh wow, okay, this person's gone out of their way, I'd like to speak to them. Join groups. So there's lots of different groups on LinkedIn, and there's like job related stuff and like general networking groups and stuff talking about different cities. So join them, start to get involved in conversations, and add people from them. Again, you're going to be, that's growing those global connections, because you're going to be connecting with people that you never even would have met. So this is all important because of the LinkedIn algorithm. So I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it's just worth keeping in mind that LinkedIn uses a formula, same as Instagram or Facebook, to deem what is relevant. And one of the ways it does that is by looking at your profile, and also looking at your connections profile. So you could put an amazing post up, but trying to kind of get people to be interested in you. But if it's not relevant to anything that's on your profile, or if it's not relevant to your connections profiles, it's going to be, of course, it's not relevant to your network, so it doesn't stay on the newsfeed. It's not something to worry too much about, but it's something to take into account, and just to think to have connections that are relevant to you, because you want them to be helping you. So here you can see this is how you search for people. I'm sure you all know how to search for people, but if you go at the bar at the top, pop in a search, and then you can see underneath here there's different search functions that you can start to look at people who work at certain companies, people who are located in certain areas, and kind of go from there. So here is an example of groups. So again, just put EF in here for the sake, and then click on groups, and then that will show you all groups. So for instance, you could put working in China, for example, or you could put, I don't know, whatever you're trying to do abroad, you can put in there and see if there's any groups that you can connect with. Now, how do we start to leverage LinkedIn? So what do we actually do with all this information? So sorry, I just need some water. So now you've got those connections, you want to start actually using LinkedIn. So you want to be doing things like posting articles, commenting on each other's articles. So it's really hard, I found at the beginning, to get your head around LinkedIn, because we're so used to Facebook and Instagram. So for instance, on Facebook, you wouldn't, I know some people do, but you wouldn't necessarily comment on someone you don't know's post, whilst LinkedIn is the complete opposite to that. The whole point in that post, that person putting the post, is that someone comments on it. So you want to be commenting on people's posts and posting your own, stay involved in the latest trends within your industry and job role, interact with your friends and colleagues. So algorithm wise, comments are worth more than shares on LinkedIn. So the more you comment, that the person who's put this post out has put that post out purely just for you to engage, to interact with it. So make the most of it. Put a great comment on a post, get someone then looking at your profile and start widening your reach. So on this bar that you can see at the bottom here, you have a couple of things. So one of the kind of the most latest things from LinkedIn is this, the development of the notifications. So the notifications now include quite a lot, which I'll show you in a second, which can help you start to work out who to engage with. And work here as well, you can click on there, and that's where you can see what's going on in the groups that you're interacting with. There's also a couple of other cool functions under groups as well, so I'd recommend you kind of take a look and start to explore those. So examples. So this is the example of the notification. So it's starting now to show you things that are going on within your network. So for instance, I had a job anniversary a couple of weeks ago, and I had people I didn't know comment on there saying congratulations on your work anniversary, and they knew that just from this notification tab, I assume. And you can see here, you can congratulate someone on a new job, So how amazing would it be if you were connected with someone in your target audience and they'd got a new job and you commented on that, and they see you and they think, oh, okay, let's check this person out. Oh, okay, they could be good for my company. They wouldn't have seen you if you hadn't commented on it. So just keep that interaction up. So looking at what to post, again, stats wise, you don't need to worry too much, but just keep in mind that even someone like me, although I use LinkedIn a lot, I don't actually use it that much. So on average, people use LinkedIn around 17 minutes per month. So you don't actually have very long to capture people and let people see you. So you kind of want to be making the most out of that time. So you want to have things like short, snappy headlines, images, always add images. Text just blurs into the rest of it and the advertisements at the side. You want images. You want to use neutral language because it is a professional networking site. So if you put something very, very positive or very, very negative, people are going to be less inclined to get involved in the conversation because it's a professional site, because they've got their managers around them, because they've got people they're trying to impress around them. They don't necessarily want to be showing opinions. So that's just something to keep in mind. Also humour. Now you have to be careful with this one, of course, but you can add elements of humour if you can do it well, because it shows you're human and it shows personality, and it shows you're not just sitting there typing out something that you're doing just for the sake of getting people to look at you. It's actually showing some personality there, and that's something that we like to see. So just a little bit of information there on kind of what people use LinkedIn. So LinkedIn did some research, and you can see there the top things that people are interested in. But mainly the point in what to post is just, or what to comment is, just think of it, it's a networking site. So if you're using it to comment on your friends' posts or your colleagues that you know's posts, that's not networking, that's socializing. So, and think if you was at a networking event, an actual physical event, and you were there and you were sitting in the corner not talking to anyone, you might as well not be there. So if you have a LinkedIn profile but you're not utilizing it, and you're really not using it to try and get that international job abroad, then you might as well not be using it, because you're not gonna get anywhere with it. So the more you put into it, of course, the more you're gonna get out of it. So just to start looking at companies as well. So follow companies that you're targeting. So yeah, I mean, if you were to be kind of coming at this with a view to learning how you can work for EF, for example, then you can go on or start following us, start engaging the content. And same with any company. All good companies will have a presence on there and start putting media out there. So start to engage on it. Make a list of international companies that you might be interested in and connect with them. Follow people who work for them and engage with it. So here you can see just some examples of putting in a company, and on the side you can see filters, and you can start to kind of find different companies that would be of interest to you. And so a little bit of information now about my journey with LinkedIn. So this is interesting because I'm telling you all that information, but now let's apply it to the real world. So I worked in recruitment for a little under 2 years, and my recruitment experience was all mainly based around LinkedIn, and I was recruiting in the UK. And then I was moving to Amsterdam, and I didn't know the job market, I didn't know anyone, and I didn't really know what to do to get a job. So the first thing I thought was, okay, so if I can use LinkedIn to recruit people, I can use LinkedIn myself to get people to recruit me for an international job. So my first point of call was to change my headline. So I put on there, I mean, this was quite a while ago now, but I put on there something along the lines of actively looking for recruiting positions based in Amsterdam from whatever month. So that straight away lets people know I'm looking. And then I did a search on the job boards and on LinkedIn job boards to find out who was recruiting people with my skill set. I then targeted those companies. I added recruiters from there. I sent them personal messages, And out of lots of contact that I had a contact with a lovely lady at Acorn, and we had, as you can see on my CV there, we had a great conversation. They weren't actively looking, we were just having a conversation, but nothing really came of it because they weren't actively recruiting for another recruiter. Then I stayed, so that was fine. I did my side projects and whatever else I was doing, but I stayed in contact with the girl. She put things on LinkedIn, I would comment, I'd kind of catch up with her. And eventually she came back to me and said, we are now recruiting now. And I had the interview and I got the job. And that was purely because I made sure I stayed in her mind from using LinkedIn. And then now kind of fast forward to my time at EF, a little bit of a different story, but I actually actively applied for the job working for EF when I was in Germany. And I made sure before I did that, I updated my LinkedIn. So again, I updated my headline to let any EF, but also anyone else know that I was going to be relocating to Shanghai and that I would be open for opportunities. And I then made sure that everything was up to date and that my most recent job was on there, and that my profile wasn't too narrow. It was kind of wide to see. I was considering quite a few different things. And then I got an interview. And before the interview, I checked out the people who were interviewing me's profile. That then sends them a notification, which is nice because that then shows them that I'm interested and I've done my research and I'm kind of interested in getting this opportunity, and I do want to move abroad. So that's two real life examples of how updating these things on LinkedIn, getting your name out there, interacting with people can actually get you those dream jobs abroad that I'm assuming you want because you're on this webinar. So yeah, I work for EF. So EF, Education First, is the umbrella, as I mentioned before, and we have different products under that. So I work for English First, and we have training centres across China in Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities, and yeah, we kind of teach English. So we have been in China for 20 years. We have 300 training centres across China in 60 different cities. So anything from the culture of Beijing, with the cold winter in the winter, hot in the summer, Shanghai, where I am, international hub of China, modern, shiny city, down to the south, Shenzhen, Guangzhou, beautiful hot tropical climate, Chongqing in Sichuan province, hot spicy food near the mountains, and everything else in between. So we have cities that can kind of be of interest to anyone with different interests and different needs. So we've won quite a few awards. So we're the winner of the best company to work for in Asia, which was awarded by HR Asia in 2019. And I believe we've just been nominated for that again. So the National 5-Star Gold Teacher Team Award from Sina.com, and we were the recipient of the China Charity Festival's Innovative Charity Award. So little quick rundown on what we look for. So any bachelor's degree is accepted as long as, yeah, it's a bachelor's degree and it says bachelor's degree on there. You do need a TEFL certificate. So TEFL stands for Teaching English as a Foreign Language. We actually provide sponsorship for you to be able to take that. So if you are interested in coming, that is something that you would have to do. We can only, because of government restrictions on the visa, we can only accept applications from the 7 English-speaking countries. So that's the UK, America, Canada, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa. And of course, you need to be prepared to live abroad for a year. But if you do, it will be the best year of your life, I guarantee. So here's just a couple of images. So this is actually my colleague Lee. She is a great success story. She started as a teacher, moved to senior teacher, and now is a recruiter in my team, involved in the Women's Society and lots of different amazing things within EF. Another fun image from one of our teachers. Here you can see that inside of a classroom we have amazing interactive whiteboards, which of course the children love to go up and play with and interact with. And yeah, nice, modern, bright offices. So a quick rundown: we have a competitive local salary, again, TEFL certificate. We have a free hotel for your first 2 weeks, which is really nice because you all stay in a hotel together and get to know people. That was kind of one of the best things for me to make friends. Free Mandarin Chinese lessons. I haven't made use of those yet, but hopefully I will soon. Performance review after 6 months, you'll start to be eligible for that. Health insurance, select cities have your flight paid for. We have lots of different EF, social and cultural events, flight allowance. We sponsor your legal Z visa and reimburse you all the costs. Airport pickup upon arrival and 21 days of paid holiday. So if you are interested, you can go on our website and you can filter by different interests. So for example, if you're looking for a job, an international job that's going to give you cheap living, you can go on that, or somewhere with a seasonal climate, somewhere with I don't know, that you can learn Chinese easy, you can go on there and really filter your search down. So if you were to be interested in EF, we have amazing career opportunities. So that's kind of one of the things that I am really proud of EF about. So you start as an international teacher, so very entry-level teacher, a couple of different levels in that. We very rarely recruit for the more senior teachers because we have amazing teachers already here that we like to develop and train. So you can move senior teacher, director of studies, production manager, and we help you move through those we offer lots of different sponsored, internationally recognised teaching qualifications. Or which is what a lot of people do, you can move around. So there's lots of my team used to be EF teachers and they're now recruiters, of course teacher trainers, management, marketing, and global opportunities across the whole of education first. So we like to recruit great talent and nurture great talent. And we kind of do that. As I mentioned, we have the sponsored certifications. So you can start as a foundation teacher and take the foundation TEFL, and then you take your TKTs. And then we partner with Trinity University, Cambridge University, Harvard University to offer different levels of these sponsored certifications. So you've got your Trinity Cert TESOL, your DIP TESOL, and lots more training opportunities past that. So yeah, and we do lots of events and fun things. There's always something going on at events, EF parties, gym classes, craft events, always something going on. So yeah, that is it. So hopefully I've given you some really good kind of tips to start optimizing your LinkedIn profile and to start knowing who to contact, who to target, who to connect with, and what to do with your profile to really get yourself known. So if you want to find out more about us, you can scan this QR code here. You can also go onto our website that's mentioned there, and this is a link to my profile. So as I said, my name's Charlotte Bryan. Please feel free to connect with me, and if you want to discuss EF or just connect with me and start interacting with me. So that is the end of me talking. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen now. Cool. So now is the time for you to ask me any questions about LinkedIn or about EF. We have a couple of minutes now for you to ask away. So I see Maya's already answered a question as a moderator, so the presentation will be available after the meeting. Does the algorithm react well to giving likes, or is posting a comment better? So likes are still absolutely involved in the algorithm, most definitely, but comments just, so the algorithm, without going into too much detail, the algorithm works on relevance points. There's lots of things involved, and likes are definitely in there, but comments are just worth more. Hopefully that answers that. Is it relevant to post-work experience as, for example, a bar employee, like typical jobs for students? It is. If that's what, yeah. So I would say yes. So you want to make sure, you want to watch how you're wording it. You want to maybe focus on the more like the skills you got from that, and rather than kind of maybe like specifically focusing on like So you put bar. Okay, so specifically focusing on things like alcohol or something like that. But yeah, as long as you can make it work for you, then I would say yeah. Cool. So joining from South Africa. Hi. Sorry, I'm just catching up on these. Cool. So do we have so what is your favorite thing about working at EF? Okay, that's a great question. So there's so many different things. I'd say my number one favorite thing for working about EF is the support. So I initially came here on my own. I waved goodbye to my husband for a couple of months and my family, and jumped on a plane and came here on my own, which at 29 is quite daunting. But straight away I was in the hotel and I kind of got a text from one of the other new people starting saying, oh, like, are you here? Let's meet up. And I remember going into the hotel feeling so nervous and thinking, did I do the right thing? And then by the time I went to bed that night, I was like, I've already got friends, which was amazing. And then kind of from that moment onwards, it was really that support. And although we are a very big international company, started in Sweden, we're not a Chinese company, we really have this family feeling because everyone has to relocate for the position. So everyone wants to support each other. Everyone wants to get involved in everything. There's so much going on constantly, from gym classes all the time here to social events and kind of women's society events, and there's always something going on. So yeah, great question. Thank you for asking. Yeah, I hope that answers. Okay, I'm in a university student looking for a term time internship. How much earlier do you recommend reaching out to individuals to ask about internships? How much earlier? I'm a university student looking for sorry, I'm trying to make sense of that. How much earlier do you recommend? So I'm not sure what you mean by how much earlier. Okay, so because you want to do it in the summer. Okay. So because think about it is you're trying to like foster a relationship. So you're not necessarily going to go in there. You could go in there straight away asking about internships, but it's more about what you're probably not going to get anything straight away. It's about nurturing the relationship. So you can do it whenever, and you can even just keep it open and just say, look, like I love, really interested in your company. It'd be great to connect, to stay in contact. Maybe there might be some opportunities for me down the line. That could be your initial contact, and then you can start maybe commenting on their stuff. And then maybe a little bit closer to the time, it's hard for me to say because obviously it's probably company specific when they could kind of even look at doing things like that. But then maybe closer to the time when you are looking for an internship, you can message again. And by that point, you've already done your first message. They've seen you on LinkedIn, and it might just be a better conversation because you're nurturing that relationship. Any other questions? So there's a couple coming through. Okay. Oh, so sorry, I just got to scroll up. Okay. So does the matter of the about section matter? Sorry, the length. No. I've recently actually added to mine because I felt mine was too short, but there's no actual rules, and it's just more, do you think that what you're writing there accurately sells you? And I don't like to use that word, but just think of it as an opportunity to sell yourself in a way. So does it show what you have done, what you can do, where your passions are, what your achievements are? And by achievements, it doesn't have to be this big, huge achievement, just anything. So as long as you think it summarises that in an interesting way for someone to read, then I don't know if it necessarily has to be a certain length. I think that's quite subjective, but not seeing you on that about, I don't know, but hopefully that answers. So a particular time of the year where EF is looking for teachers? Great question. No. So because we're a training centre, we our students come to us to attend kind of like a course, if you think of it that way. So our recruitment is continual because those courses are continually going. We're always looking to bring new teachers on board, and we look right now, for example, we're looking anytime from, because the visa process takes quite a while, so we're looking anytime from kind of maybe May, June to the end of the year, and kind of any time within that time. What do you think is the best thing about working abroad? Okay, it's really interesting. And actually, if you, I don't know if you follow EF's English First Work Abroad Instagram, but I actually did a webinar, a live session on this on Monday with my colleague, and this is exactly what we're talking about. So for me, and this is why I can speak so passionately, because before I worked abroad, I didn't really get why everyone was saying travel, and I was settled. I was at a small village in the UK. I had my family around me, and I didn't really see the need. And then when I did it, now I just think everyone should be traveling. I put a post on LinkedIn the other day about how if you can do it, do it. So the main thing I think is, okay, this is a little bit subjective to me because I am from a small village, but it can be, it applies to everyone. So I have met people that I would never have met before. So I'm working, just in my team, I'm working with Americans, I'm working with people from South Africa, the UK, lots of different areas, Canada. And what you think about the world changes so much because there's so many, all of a sudden you're hearing different experiences. We even were talking about the fact that I thought Cadbury's chocolate was the best chocolate. I mean, I still probably do think that, but then you start to speak to people and you just learn so much. There's so much more to the world that you couldn't even imagine from not working abroad. And as well, you get those different skills. So from when I was working in the UK, I'd only ever recruited people from Birmingham or London, wherever I was working in the surrounding areas. Now I'm able to have conversations with people who are from any of those 7 countries and beyond, because I'm working around with people in the HQ from kind of Chinese people right through to kind of everywhere around the world. So you're really kind of just you don't even realize every day you're adding to that skill set of being able to communicate with different people and taking into account different beliefs and cultures and everything like that. So I think that is a great thing. And if you are kind of working with EF as a teacher, you would be working alongside, you'd obviously be working with Chinese people as well as your colleagues. So it's really nice because you learn a completely different skill set and a different way to communicate. It's really fantastic. I'd say that's my best bit. I know that was a very long-winded answer, but hopefully you can understand where I was coming from with that. So do we have, we do have another couple of minutes. I am conscious that we've had some great questions there, so thank you so much for interacting and engaging with me. If there is any other couple of questions, please feel free to drop them in. So as mentioned, we will be able to email this presentation out as well. So hopefully you can have another look through it at your own leisure and start to improve that LinkedIn profile, develop your connections, start to network. And it's not going to happen straight away, but as I said in answer to one of these questions, think of it as fostering relationships. Nothing's going to happen straight away, but the more you develop, as I did with my first job in Amsterdam, develop those relationships, keep at them, keep talking, and keep remembering that we're humans. We like to engage, we like to talk, we like to see personality, and eventually you will connect with those recruiters and you will get that job abroad that you're looking for. So it doesn't look like there's any more questions. So that's it for me. Thank you so much for logging on. I've really enjoyed presenting this to you. Hopefully you've learned something, and wherever you are in the world, have a good day, evening, night, wherever you are. Bye.